Argentine President Javier Milei's security team rushed him out of a public event in Buenos Aires province after protesters threw rocks and objects at his car. The incident occurred while Milei was campaigning for upcoming local and midterm elections in a district traditionally opposed to his administration. The pickup truck sped away from the crowd, which was yelling anti-government chants. Milei's spokesperson Manuel Adoni claimed members of the opposition attacked the president's caravan, but unfortunately, there were no injuries reported. On Moldova's 34th independence anniversary, French President Emmanuel Macron, German Chancellor Friedrich Merz and Polish leaders visited the country to express strong support for its EU bid. The leaders' visit aims to bolster Moldova's European aspirations and counter Russian influence, with Merz accusing Moscow of trying to bring Moldova back into the Russian sphere of influence ahead of Moldova's parliamentary elections. Russian forces launched a massive attack on Kyiv on Thursday, hitting the Ukrainian capital with deadly strikes. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said fresh Russian strikes on Ukrainian capital Kyiv killed at least 8 people and wounded dozens more. Kyiv residents sought refuge in metro stations as Russian forces launched a massive drone and missile attack on the city. The metro stations, equipped with basic amenities, provided a sense of security and community for those sheltering from the attacks. Some residents brought mattresses, blankets and snacks to make their stay more comfortable, while others tried to catch some sleep amidst the chaos. The attack comes as Moscow and Kyiv traded blame over an impasse in diplomatic efforts towards peace deal, spearheaded by US President Donald Trump. The Trump administration confirmed that it has fired Susan Menares, the director of the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, after she reportedly refused to resign due to disagreements with Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s vaccine policies. Menares, a health scientist and longtime civil servant, had been in the position for less than a month. Her lawyers stated that she was targeted for standing up for science and refusing to rubber stamp unscientific, reckless directives and fire dedicated health experts. Journalists in the UK rallied outside Downing Street in solidarity with colleagues in Gaza, condemning the killing of 5 journalists in Israeli military strikes earlier this week. Members of the National Union of Journalists delivered a letter to Prime Minister Keir Starmer demanding accountability and stronger UK action to protect media workers. The rally included a vigil where attendees read aloud the names of over 200 journalists killed in Gaza since 7th of October 2023. The UK government has recently suspended arms export licenses to Israel for use in Gaza and sanctioned 2 far-right Israeli ministers.
So he buried him.
South Korean and US troops concluded a joint maritime infiltration training exercise near Anmyeon Island. South Korea is part of the 2025 Ulchi Freedom Shield exercise. This training aimed to enhance joint amphibious operation capabilities and interoperability between the two nations' militaries. The exercise featured advanced military equipment and tactics, showcasing the strong military cooperation between South Korea and the US amid North Korean threats. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un is set to attend a grand military parade in Beijing, China on the 3rd of September, commemorating the 80th anniversary of the end of World War II. Around 26 leaders, including Russian President Vladimir Putin and Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian, will attend the parade. The event will feature a showcase of China's latest military equipment and a troop inspection by President Xi Jinping in Beijing's Tiananmen Square. A Hong Kong court has concluded hearing closing arguments in media tycoon Jimmy Lai's national security trial, with judges set to deliver a verdict. The 77-year-old founder of the pro-democracy tabloid Apple Daily has contested charges of foreign collusion after authorities accused him of using various platforms to lobby Western countries to sanction China and Hong Kong. Lai was charged with 2 counts of conspiracy to collude with foreign forces under the city's national security law. He faces life imprisonment if convicted. The trial, which began in December 2023, saw Lai's defense team argue that he was simply exercising his right to free expression. The Indian Army and Jammu and Kashmir Police have successfully foiled an infiltration bid near the line of control in Bandipora district, killing 2 terrorists in a joint operation. The operation, codenamed Naushera 4, was launched based on intelligence inputs from Jammu and Kashmir Police regarding a likely infiltration attempt in Gurez sector. Members of the Mexico Clown Club participated in the 25th annual pilgrimage to the Basilica of Guadalupe in Mexico City. Dressed in their iconic red noses, striped shirts and oversized shoes and wigs, they marched and spiritual songs along the 4-kilometer boulevard leading to the Basilica. The clowns also participated in a mass and paid tribute to their late colleagues. 20 families were evacuated from their homes in Algeria's mountains due to raging wildfires. Firefighters managed to put out the blaze without any major injuries reported. Algeria faces seasonal wildfires each summer, often worsened by extreme heat and drought. Authorities have urged vigilance as the region continues to experience high temperatures and dry winds. The wildfire started on the 18th of August and has affected several provinces in Algeria. Asian stocks were mixed Thursday as Nvidia's strong earnings were overshadowed by concerns about its China business tied to US-China trade tensions. The MSCI Asia Pacific Index dipped 0.2%, with chip makers in Korea and Taiwan expected to feel the impact. US futures also fell, S&P 500 down 0.2%, Nasdaq 0.4% after Nvidia signaled no China-bound shipments of its H20 chips. Japan's Nikkei rose 0.4% despite trade uncertainties, as well as Korean stocks, which gained 0.3% following the central bank's rate hold at 2.5%. Meanwhile, the US dollar remained shaky amid bets on a near-term rate cut. Oil prices fell as concerns over a looming global surplus outweighed US pressure on India to stop buying Russian crude. Brent dropped below $68 and US oil near $64. Despite US tariffs and harsh rhetoric targeting India, Indian refiners plan to continue Russian imports. Traders worry that increased output from OPEC Plus and non-OPEC countries could outpace demand. Citigroup forecasts Brent averaging $66 this quarter amid oversupply risks. Meanwhile, US data showed refinery activity slowing and crude stockpiles declining for the first time, in 8 weeks. The market outlook remains bearish despite potential sanctions-related upside. China's banks are cracking down on the use of credit cards to fund stock investments amid a 1 trillion market rally driven by small investors. Banks like China, Minsheng and Huaxia Bank warn that using credit card cash advances for investing is prohibited, with violations leading to transaction cancellations and card restrictions. This move, echoing a 2022 rule, aims to curb risky short-term borrowing for stock trading, which could amplify market volatility and pose financial stability risks. Authorities are concerned about speculative trading fueled by high-cost credit card debt and its potential impact on the banking system. Qantas posted a 15% jump in annual pre-tax profit to $1.55 billion, driven by strong domestic travel demand. Its shares surged to a record high, and the airline announced its highest dividend in 17 years, including a special payout. Budget carrier Jetstar performed especially well, with a 55% increase in earnings. Looking ahead, Qantas plans to raise fares by up to 5% domestically and 3% internationally, and has ordered 20 new Airbus A321 XLR jets to modernize its fleet. Indonesia has summoned representatives of Meta platforms ByteDance's TikTok and other social media platforms, ordering them to boost content moderation as disinformation has spread online. According to Deputy Communications Minister Anggaraka Prabowo, such disinformation, particularly on TikTok and Meta's Instagram, has stoked anger and spurred protests against the government. He further said that the government will urge the platforms to moderate or remove such content, as well as anything pertaining to pornography and online gambling, without waiting for a government request. Meetings with Meta and TikTok are planned, with invitations also sent to X and YouTube. A Russian court has fined social networking sites Pinterest and Twitch in separate cases for violating local internet regulations. Pinterest was fined $123,692 and Twitch received approximately $679,228 fine. Twitch Interactive and Pinterest were found guilty of violating Russia's rules on foreign online activities under Part 2, Article 13.49 of the Administrative Code. In addition, Pinterest was also found guilty under Article 19.7.10-4 for failing to comply with its directives. Anthropic has detected and blocked hackers trying to misuse Claude to draft phishing mails, write and fix malicious code, and bypass safety filters. In a report with case studies, the Amazon Alphabet-backed firm said its systems stopped the activity, banned the accounts, and tightened filters, but released no technical indicators like IPS or prompts. Anthropic said its internal systems had stopped the attacks and that it was sharing case studies showing how attackers attempted to use Claude to produce harmful content in order to help others understand the risks. The report also described efforts to script influence campaigns by generating persuasive posts at scale and helping low-skill hackers with step-by-step instructions. South Korea's Personal Information Committee has fined SK Telecom about $96.9 million over a massive data breach that exposed the personal details of more than 23 million users. It is the largest penalty ever imposed by the regulator, surpassing the fine imposed on Google in year 2022. The Personal Information Protection Committee said SK Telecom neglected access control, failed to encrypt USIM authentication keys, mismanaged access rights, and delayed notifying users. SK Telecom had reported that the data breach on 22nd of April to the Personal Information Protection Committee after detecting a large volume of data being transmitted outside its network on the 18th of April. Lawyers for online forums 4chan and Kyiv Farms have filed a lawsuit in a Washington, D.C. federal court against UK regulator Ofcom, seeking to block enforcement of the Online Safety Act in the US. The case, brought on behalf of 4chan Community Support LLC, argues that US business with no presence in the UK are not subject to British legislation. Ofcom has provisionally decided to fine 4chan about $27,000 for failing to provide information and continues to investigate both sites over compliance with duties to protect users from illegal content. The lawsuit seeks a declaration and permanent injunction barring Ofcom from enforcing the act in the US. Manchester United have crashed out of the EFL Cup in a manner that will haunt them for years to come. The Red Devils were stunned by fourth-tier Grimsby Town on 12-11 penalties in one of the biggest upsets in English football history. Charles Vernon and Tyrell Warren gave the League Two side a stunning goal lead. Brian Mbeumo and Harry Maguire levelled for United, forcing a shootout after 11 perfect penalties each. Mbeumo missed his second spot kick, sealing a historic win for Grimsby. Fans flooded the pitch in wild celebrations as the underdogs dumped United out of the competition in unbelievable fashion.